Hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nikao, which means to conquer, to overcome, to prevail, and get the victory. And today I am so excited about my guest, Emanuel. Every time I say his name, I end up singing that gospel song, Emanuel. But I'm so thankful and I'm so proud of this young man um, who is pursuing his dream. So I kind of had a kind of a flip flop of, do I have him on for this or do I have him on for that? But we're gonna stick right here for our chefs, local chefs. As a matter of fact, Emmanuel is doing great things, but I will let him tell you what he is doing. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. It is our pleasure. So, Emmanuel, what is your specialty? Do you have a specialty of what you do?
Yeah, I would have to say, I like what I do now at work. It's called saute. So basically, I like searing the scallops, and I made your shrimp last time you came in, and I use
Delicious.
a lot of stuff too. But even outside of that, I feel like a lot of people say when they're chefs, they don't really do the baking side of it. But I like to make the tres leches cake, a popular Spanish cake. So that's probably one of the best things I make, in my opinion.
Mm, okay, okay. I'll have to taste that.
Yeah, because right now it's talking about being a chef and having your own business, and I feel like in the future I might end up starting my own business as far as doing a food truck for those type of cakes, but we'll just have to see what happens.
Awesome, because that definitely was one of my questions too. Yeah. So, do you use social media of any type of way to, to gain more customers or just to gain is it just your outlet? Do you use it to drive customers to where you currently are or, to
Yeah, so
showcase what you do?
so with me it's a little bit different right now because before I was doing a lot of my own dishes, so I would post it on Snapchat or Instagram, Facebook, wherever,
Hmm.
and my own dish. It's a little bit different since it's not my own restaurant and I'm not necessarily the chef of the restaurant. It just for
Mm,
me having people try my food, and even if it's one more person, then it's not really for the money aspect, because it's not bringing me any money. It's just having that person come in and try my food that wouldn't have tried it without using social media. So even if it's not like something that I'm selling, like I was trying to sell the tres leches too, so I would post that and try to get people to buy them. And also sometimes I'll just make food or post it or even go out to eat and post it. So social media is definitely something I try to
mm.
utilize.
Okay, okay. Now, have you ever thought about being a private chef?
Yeah, I've thought about it because just recently I had started doing a little bit of traveling, and I just feel like if that's what I want to do, being a private chef would probably be the best bet, since if I'm actually like tied to a restaurant and being a chef, then there you don't really have that freedom to go out and travel.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's definitely something I'd have to look into.
Awesome, awesome. So, Emmanuel, what do you think makes you stand out as a chef?
I think that makes the thing that makes me stand out the most is that I'm not willing to take the shortcut. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to really be a chef. Because, like I've said before, like right now, I'm just kind of a cook. Like I'm not necessarily a chef as far as the restaurant goes. I do have my degree,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I'm not, because I could have the title. With the last job I was at, I had the opportunity to become a chef or a manager, then step into being a chef. But it's
Mm,
that hunger to want to do more and not just settle for something. You know what I mean? And also just the creativity aspect and coming up with my own dishes and my own stuff, and being able, like right now, being in one of the best restaurants here in Fort Wayne, and being able to provide an idea for a dish like in a restaurant like that. I think
Mm.
that's what makes me stand out is the drive and also the creativity.
Awesome. Awesome. So how do you maintain your love of cooking when you're not at the restaurant?
Yeah, so I feel like it's been hard to really want to cook outside of work because I was also cooking at school and then I was doing both of those things at the same time. But I still have found other times where whether it's cooking for my grandparents or cooking for my girlfriend, I feel like I haven't done it as much as I would like, but still, when I have done it, that is another way for me to still love it. Just have people saying they like this or this is good. It fuels me to keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm, okay. Now you mentioned school. What is your culinary education?
Yeah. So I have an associate's in hospitality and culinary arts, and yeah, that's I just finished recently. Actually, I actually just graduated, so I've
Okay.
been doing a little bit of both training in the restaurant and also training at school and getting my degree.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, now I'm going to turn a corner real quick on you and I'm going to ask you, have you ever experienced a meal being sent back or a negative review of something that you made?
Yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes. Even working with a really great chef, I've seen him have stuff sent back. So when it happens for me, it's like, yeah, it kind of it gets you stuck in that moment. You're like, man, like you're kind of hurt there for a second, but honestly, yeah, like I've had when I first got on the new that I've been working on, I had an instance where the meatballs were like they weren't completely hot enough. They were warm, I guess the customer said. And from that point on, it's just helped me to like not rely on my own senses and know sometimes you gotta use a thermometer or just really
Mm,
sure that it's hot enough and that you're not just thinking like, oh yeah, I got this. Sometimes that extra couple minutes or extra minute or whatever, the customer is going to be a lot more happy if it takes another minute and the food's hot than if it takes a minute less and the food's not. So from
okay.
that point, I think it's just being sure of what you're doing, and not just thinking you're right.
Good, good. Now, do you ever have to, I know Tolan is can be really busy sometimes and I know Happy Gnome was busy. How do you handle the pressure of being in a busy restaurant?
I think for me, I've always had a level head, so it's not
Okay.
too hard to really deal with that. But at the same time, sometimes you get in those moments where there's a lot of tickets coming in or there's a lot of stuff going on, something maybe went wrong.
Mhm.
And I think you just got to do one thing at a time and make sure, you're on your P's and Q's. And I think, yeah, in that moment, you have to keep your, keep a level head, but also before then, you just have you have to prepare for that moment, make sure you got everything set up and you're not letting yourself get behind in those moments because you have other stuff going on. So I think it's a good thing too because I have a couple of chefs that I work with that have really shown me what it means to be a chef in those moments and when something goes wrong or you got a lot going on to just keep focused and just keep going, take one thing at a time.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, you are probably, well, one of the youngest chefs or cook. I'm going to continue to call you a chef. I know you said you're not there just yet, but that is where you're headed, and that is what I see you as, and that is what I will continue to speak on you.
Yeah,
So, but do you feel respected as a chef coming because you're younger? Do you, or do other cooks look at you like, who is this young man? What's this
right.
little boy doing in here?
Yeah, I think so. Like being at the Hoppy Gnome and having that opportunity where I was about to move on to be a manager, then the chef, and then you have people that have been in the kitchen for 20 years, like as long as I've been alive almost. And they're gonna look at you and think, you know, it's just someone who's trying to be a chef, or they're trying to do this, or they're trying to do that. And I think that's where you have to earn the respect, because it just brings me back to like talking to someone about this and what it means to be a chef, and how it's kind of really just a title. So when you can get that job and you can get that title, and you really only can be a chef once you're in that position and you're able to own up and be there and be that chef and manage your restaurant and not fold under pressure, like how we talked before with the pressure and stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, that's going to happen. People are going to test you and wonder if you're really who you say you are. And I think that's what makes you as the chef, is to step up to the plate and really be able to do that. So, and now I just working with the chef that owns Tolan. He has really seen my potential, I feel like, and he's shown me a lot of things, and I feel like I've earned respect. And by the time I'm done with this journey, I'll be ready for the next. And
Awesome.
people don't have to necessarily respect me at first, but they will when it's said and done.
All right now, all right. So, Emmanuel, what has been your greatest accomplishment in this position since you have begun this journey? Do you have one, or do you find that you've had several?
Yeah, I'd have to say that, I mean, anytime that I have created my own food and having people enjoy it and say it's good, I feel like for me, that's one of the bigger accomplishments. But also from the outside looking in, I would say the biggest one probably would have to be, uh, even though there's multiple winners to the competition, but we had a culinary competition and I was one of the winners, and we got to go to Italy for a good price. You probably won't ever have, most people won't ever have an opportunity to go for that amount of money. And I mean, it was Italy, so
Right.
it'd have to be one of the biggest accomplishments.
That was so awesome. That is so awesome. Wow. Wow. Okay, I have one final question for you. Have you ever wanted to quit? And what did that moment look like for you?
Yeah, so I mean, there's probably been a couple times, but the biggest one that like sticks out in my mind is probably when I was really at the finish line for school. And there's a lot of people that'll tell you like, you don't really need culinary school, or you can learn everything in the restaurant. And that might have some truth to it, but at the same time, school has its importance and its value. And it was just hard to be going to have work 40 hours a week and have school too, and sometimes have no days off. And then
Mm,
those Wednesdays and Thursdays were the days that were big for me, because I'm going to school early in the morning and then I have work after. And it was just a lot going on. And it was hard to want to keep going. But it's actually funny because I had a talk with your son Isaiah about it, and he was just telling me basically it's going to mean a lot more to you when you finish school and you're working and you can do that work after. I mean, it's going to really mean more if you finish than if you just give up. We're not
mm,
quitters, we're going to
mm.
give up. So,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, you just got to overcome basically.
Mm. That is so wonderful. I am so proud of you, and I am looking forward to you continuing to move um, into greater things during this journey. And I look forward to coming to your restaurant one day. And I just know that it's going to be great. You're going to do some great things with this. And please keep me informed as far as a private chef, or if that's something that you are wanting to do. because I know individuals who would definitely hire you to do
Right.
that. So, but we'll keep in touch for that. So,
Okay.
so I thank you so much again, Emmanuel, for joining us here on the Cow, which means to conquer, to overcome, to prevail, and get the victory. And I know that Emmanuel will continue to overcome and continue to prevail in everything that he does. All righty. So thank you so much. And we will talk again with you later.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's honestly funny though too, because I said overcome. I wasn't even looking at the meaning for Nikao here. That's funny though. But definitely have to talk to you about those people who may need a private chef.
All
Get that
right.
going.
All right. Got you.
All right.
All righty. Talk to you later.
All right. See ya.